Hi, my name is Natalia, and in this video I'm just going to be running through how I created my zine. So the idea, how did it actually come to me? Class of COVID, as in like that title came to me first before the actual idea. Like that was the first thing that came to my head, Class of COVID. And then I kind of worked my way backwards from there. 2020 last year was a really tough year for everyone. Literally, we had the global pandemic. I had Zoom lectures at the time, and I was kind of just at home, and all I was seeing on the news from Boris, because if you didn't know from my accent, I'm in the UK, and from the government was that coronavirus is devastating lives, which it was, but there was no kind of representation of students or young people and what they were going through during this time. And if there was, it was very negative. It was like students are going to spread the virus. When they go back in September, it's going to be all over. So it was really very negative. And yeah, there was just not this concept of, are we actually all right? Like the Chloe and Halle song, are the kids all right? And I thought, well, they are not all right. This was the original idea for Class of COVID, well, the front cover. Very basic, like I said, and I kind of just kept researching, kept building the idea. I wanted to make it lighthearted, so actually it was my mum that came up with the questions. Well, I kind of helped her, but it was my mum that mainly came up with the questions. And we kind of just looked through yearbooks. So like I had a yearbook for secondary school, high school, and I kind of looked through the questions, and they were like general questions like what's your favorite color, stuff like that. And I tried to incorporate that into how people would be feeling at this time of COVID. So there are some really just like random questions like what's your spirit animal, all the way to, you know, what does life mean to you, and how does it feel to be 20 right now in 2020. I really just wanted to capture what young people were going through during this time, and how they were thinking and feeling. And I kind of just wanted it to be almost like an outlet for other people, because it was definitely an outlet for me. So I wanted other people to experience that. Shooting. So originally I actually sent out a casting call. I just looked on the internet and searched up how to make a casting call, and I sent that out on my Instagram. It was basically general. It was like, if you're born between from 2000 basically to like 2005, are you down to do this project? And no one really responded, so I was like, okay, cool. But a friend of a friend actually responded, Natasha, and she, bless her soul, she's such a lovely person, and she was one of the first people I actually shot in summer of 2020. We're just doing a little DIY project. This is Natasha.
Hello.
First person I'm shooting. She was kind of the only person that took to that, so I said, well, what's another way I can reach people? And I just said, you know what, let me just direct message a bunch of my friends, a bunch of my family members. I made sure I gave people options. So I had either you do an interview, or you do a photo, or you can do it all. And yeah, like I said, with everything that happened in 2020, I didn't want to put that extra pressure on people. So that's why I gave people an array of options. For example, like my cousin, she decided, I don't want to show my face, I just want to do the questions. And that was completely fine. Whereas like my roommate, she did it all. So it was different from, yes, my roommate there. So with the shooting, I just really went for what matched the vibe of the person. I tried to capture their spirit and their personality, and I kind of just went with the flow of it and just played around, had fun with it. I just tried to make it as relaxed as possible, really. It was my first time doing a professional shoot with a professional camera, because I didn't really know what I was doing. So yeah, I was just giving it a go, to be fair. Like for all of the shoots I did, I went on Pinterest beforehand. I have like literal folders titled the person's name, and I put like poses that I wanted them to do, or like the kind of aesthetic of that shoot that I was going for. So honestly, Pinterest is so good for all of that. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Stay tuned for part 2.